Chemistry is only the branch of science that deals with the composition, structure and the properties of the matter. Usually the liquids, they don't have a definite shape because the particles are easily can flow. If two different substances are combined in any other proportions, then it will form a mixture. All solids, they have a definite shape and a definite volume. Hello my dear students, a warm welcome you all. This is me Poonima, lecturer in Department of Chemistry at Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we'll discuss with the first unit of Physical Chemistry. The chapter name is Some Basic Concepts of Chemistry. Under that, today we are going to discuss with the importance of the chemistry, states of matter, and also we are going to discuss with the classifications of the matter. Before that, let me know about the exam corner. This exam corner will help us to understand the question paper pattern, okay, or the question pattern which come from the each units. From this chapter, we have a 8 marks. We have a 8 marks weightages, and it will be split into one mark question and one 2 mark question and one 5 mark question. Remember the question number 1, question number 11 and question number 27 which always come from this chapter. Now let us move on to the importance of the chemistry. Before that, we must know that chemistry is only the branch of science that deals with the composition, structure and the properties of the matter. And also chemistry is one of the central science that links with the other branches of the science, which may be physics, it may be biology, or it may be to the mathematics. That is why the chemistry is known as a central branch of the science, and it will link with the other branches of the science also. And remember, there is no other branches which is linked with the other branches of the science. Now we'll move on to the importance of the chemistry. If I started telling about the importance of the chemistry, you can list out the many importance, because there is no other area that shows that there will be no activity beyond the applications of the chemistry, and including our activity will go on the applications of the chemistry. The first and foremost application will tell us that chemistry play a very important role in providing the food, shelter, clothes, which means to say that the chemistry is only a central branch of the science that help us to improve the crop production. Right? In order to overcome the overpopulation, the demand for the need of the food, which is also very high. That is why the chemistry play a very important role in increasing the food production, and also to increase the quality of the food, the chemistry play a very important role. In addition to this, chemistry also play a very important role in textile chemistry. When we looking into the textile chemistry, they will use the natural fibers and synthetic fibers, and they will prepare the different dyes to give the color to the cloths. So the textile chemistry is another sub branches of the chemistry which play a very important role to the human life. In addition to this, chemistry also help us to build the buildings and to the houses. To build any houses or with the buildings, we need a cement, bricks as well as with a steel. For all this raw material, chemistry play a important role for the manufacturing of those material. By this, we can clearly say that chemistry play a very important role in the human life because it provides the basic necessary to the human beings. It may be food, it may be shelter, or it may be clothes. In addition to this, chemistry also helps us to give a good health. We know that we human beings, we used to take the different kinds of the medicines, right? We used to take the different kinds of the drugs just to cure the diseases. In addition to this, chemistry play a very important role in saving the life. Especially the drugs such as cisplatin and the Taxol. The cisplatin and the Taxol, these two drugs are also known as life-saving drugs. Okay, so these drugs, why they are known as the life-saving drugs means most of the people they died with the cancer, but nowadays because of the chemistry application they are going to give this drugs just to cure the initial stages of the cancer. And also AZT, that is azidothymine. Azidothymine. This is mainly used to get rid of the AIDS victim. This is how the chemistry play a very important role in maintaining the good health. In addition to this, I like to say that chemistry play a very important role nowadays because of the corona. Because of the corona, we used to take the vaccine. In the preparations of the vaccine, chemistry play a very important role. And we can say that we are taking the corona vaccine and it become a life-saving drug also. In addition to this, we can say that chemistry not only helps in maintaining the good health or by maintaining the by providing the food, shelter and the clothes, it also helps in the manufacturing of fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides. We all know that in order to grow any crops on the agriculture field, we must have a healthy crops. In order to improve the crop production, the farmers, they used to add the fertilizers to get a better yield. In the productions of that fertilizers that should not harm to the soil, chemistry play a very important role because it provides the different kinds of the fertilizers mainly based upon the soil. So what type of the soil we are using, based on that we can choose the different kinds of the fertilizers just to improve our food production. Not only in food production, my dear students, it also helps to protect the crops mainly from the insects and also from the pests. So they are providing the insecticides and pesticides just to protect the crops. And also chemistry play a very important role in controlling the pollution and also with the industrial waste. Which means to say that not only by providing the good healthy product or to go with the comfortable life, chemistry which also play a very important role in controlling the pollution. Especially nowadays, we have a air pollution, we have seen with the water pollution and we also seen with the soil pollution. Because of the chemistry, nowadays, we are reducing the pollutants. Or nowadays, we are using the safer alternative to the dangerous materials what we are using on the earlier days. That is why the chemistry is known as a central branch of the science. These are all the important applications of the importance of the chemistry which we come across in our daily life. Now, we'll move on to the next topic, that is matter. If I started talking about the chemistry, in the definition itself, we used to say that chemistry is nothing but a study of composition, structure and the properties of the matter. Then what is the matter? Anything which occupies a space and have a mass. That is said to be matter. That is said to be matter. What is matter? Anything which occupies a space and have mass. That is said to be matter. How do we classify this matter? Do you all know that? Matter can be broadly classified into two different types. The first one is mainly based upon the physical state, and second one is mainly based upon the chemical composition. If you classify the matter based upon the physical state, we can classify them as three different states. They are solid, liquid, and gases. Okay? If you classify the matter based upon the chemical composition, we can classify it into two main topics, that is pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances and mixtures, which comes under the chemical composition of the. Based upon the chemical composition, we can classify the matter into pure substances as well as with the mixture. Now I'll go for the physical states of the matter first. If I started saying the physical states of the matter, we know that in the matter can be exists in three different physical states. The first one is a solid state, second one is a liquid state, and third one is a gaseous state. If I started talking about the solid, we all know that in a solid, if you consider any solid substances, the particles of the matter, they are tightly arranged. Particles of the matter, they are tightly arranged. You can see that each particles are tightly arranged. Hence, there is no freedom for the particle in the solid. There is no freedom for the particles which is present in the solid state. That is why all solids, they have a definite shape and a definite volume. They have a definite shape and definite volume. Coming into the liquid. In case of liquid, if you see that, you can clearly understand that the particles of the matter, they are somewhat free than the solid. They can easily move around that entire composition. But remember, they are not so free than the gases. Okay? They are somewhat free and they can easily move around within that composition. That is why in the liquid state, usually they don't have a definite shape. Usually the liquids, they don't have a definite shape because the particles are easily, it can flow. That is why the liquids, they don't have a definite shape, but remember, it takes the shape of the container, but it has a definite volume. It has a definite volume. It has a definite volume but not the shape because it takes the shape of the container. Because of the movement of the particle within that composition, it can easily flow from one container to another container and it takes the shape of the container. That is why we can say that in a liquid state, the particles of the matter, or we can say that in a liquid state, they don't have a definite shape but they have a definite volume. Coming into the gases, if you see that in the gases, the particles of the matter, they are easily moving throughout the system. They are easily moving throughout the system. Hence, they don't have a definite shape and they don't have a definite volume. Remember, it takes the shape of the container and it takes the volume of the container. These are the three different physical states of the matter. Now, let's see how do we convert these three different physical states of the matter to one another. If you heat the solid, if you take the ice as an example, as a solid, if you started heating, if you started heating, we know that ice will melt and forms the water. And water is a liquid, right? If you cool the water, again it comes back to the solid state. If you cool the water, again it comes back to the solid state. So that shows that the states of the matter can be interchangeable. Again, if you heat the water further, the water will form water vapors. Water will form the water vapors, which is nothing but gases. Okay? And remember, if you cool this water vapor, again it comes back to the liquid state. This shows that the three different states of the matter which can be easily interchangeable by controlling the temperature and pressure. By controlling the temperature and pressure, we can change the states of the matter. The best example is a ice cube. I hope that you have understood. In your home, if you keep the ice cubes on the outside, it will melt and it will form a water. If you keep it on the stove, it will evaporate and forms the water vapors. And if you cool down, again it becomes a water. And if you kept it in a refrigerator, it will become a ice cube. This shows that the states of the matter are interchangeable by changing or by controlling the temperature and pressure. We can change the states of the matter. Now, we'll see that how do we classify the matter based upon the chemical composition. Based upon the chemical composition, we can classify the matter into two types. First one is a mixture and second one is a pure substances. If I say it is a mixture, mixtures are usually formed by the combinations of the two different substances. If two different substances are combined in any other proportions, then it will form a mixtures. Coming into the pure substances. Usually, pure substances are made up of only one type of the particle. Usually, it made up of the only one type of the particles. If it is made, then it is said to be a pure substances. Example I can give you is oil and water, or if you mix the too many grains also, it will become a mixture. For the pure substances, you can distort the milk, pure milk, ghee, gold, other example for the pure substances. Remember, pure substances are the substances always it made up of the only one type of the particle. Whereas in the mixtures, usually two or more different substances are combined in any other ratio and it will form a mixture. Let's see how do we classify the pure substances again. The pure substances, just now we have understood that they made up of only one type of the particle. How do we classify it again? We can classify it into two types and they are named as elements and they are named as compounds. Then what is the element? Usually the elements are nothing but a pure substances and they made up of only one type of the atom. Only one type of the atom, if it is present in a substances, then it is said to be element. The best example is gold. So the pure gold is usually made up of the gold atom. There is no other impurity. Similarly, the pure silver, they have a silver atom. Then only we can say it is a element. Elements are the pure substances. Remember, it consists of only one type of the atom. Usually it made up of only one type of the atom. Otherwise, you can take the example of the hydrogen. Hydrogen is an element which is made up of the hydrogen atom. Understood? You can take the example of the helium. Helium is one of the element which is made up of the helium atom. But remember, sometimes these elements can also formed by the combinations of two or more same atoms. The best example is oxygen and oxygen. Oxygen is a divalent molecule, or we can say that it is a divalent element also. We used to represent in the form of O2. right? Because two same oxygen atom, they combine and forms a element, right? So this is also comes under the elements. So usually remember, elements are nothing but the pure substances. Usually they are formed from the one type of the atom or from the molecule. The examples for the atoms are gold, silver. They are made up of the gold atom and the silver atom. Coming into the molecules. Coming into the molecule means you can take the example of the hydrogen molecule. Hydrogen molecule is made up of two same hydrogen atom, right? Similarly, oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule which is formed with the same oxygen atom. Two same oxygen atom, they combine and forms a molecule. This is how the elements which is comes under the pure substances. Coming into the compounds. When we say it is a compound, remember when a substance is said to be a compound, at least two or more different atoms must be combined in a fixed ratio. Which means to say that if two or more atoms are combined in a fixed ratio, then it is said to be compound. The best example is water. We know that the water which consists of two hydrogen and one oxygen, right? Two hydrogen and one oxygen. They are present in the ratio 2:1 ratio. There is a fixed composition for the hydrogen and the oxygen. Then we say it is a compound. Similarly, if you take the example of the ammonia, nitrogen and hydrogens are the two different atoms. They combine in the fixed ratio. There are three hydrogens will be there and only one nitrogen will be there. They combine and they forms a compound. Similarly, you can take the example of carbon dioxide. In the carbon dioxide, the carbon and hydrogen are the two different atoms. They combine in fixed ratio and forms the compound. That is why they are classified under the pure substances. What is the pure substances? Pure substances are the substances usually they made up of only one type of particle, and it has been classified into elements and a compound. In the elements, remember, usually it is a pure substances made up of only one type of atoms or with the molecule. Whereas the compound, it has been formed by the combinations of two different atoms in a fixed composition. Okay? Then we'll move on to the types of mixtures. Usually, mixtures are formed by the combinations of two or more different substances. There is no fixed composition here. So, you can mix whatever you want. Then we can say it is a mixtures, right? Again, these mixtures are of two types. The first one is homogeneous mixture and second one is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous and a heterogeneous mixture. When we can say it is a homogeneous mixture, the best example I can give you is, you all know that if you take the glass of water, if you had a tablespoon of sugar or the salt to it, if you stir it with the water, we know that salt and the sugar, it will dissolve in a water, which means to say that the constant particle in that mixture, they are uniformly distributed. There is no much disturbance. And particles are uniformly distributed. Hence, they are said to be homogeneous mixture. Similarly, you can take the example of lemon juice. If you add the lemon juice to the water, it will spread throughout the water and it uniformly distributed, right? Hence, it is said to be homogeneous mixture. Coming into the heterogeneous mixture. When we can say it is a heterogeneous mixture, when the constant particle that does not mix with each other and forms a separate layer, then it is said to be heterogeneous mixture. Example, if you take the glass of water, to that if you add 1 tablespoon of oil, the oil and water, it never mix and it will form a separate layer. This shows that the constant particle in this mixture, they form a separate layer because they are not uniformly distributed. That is why they are named by the name called heterogeneous mixture. Hetero means different, homo means same. The name itself shows that if the constant particles are mixed thoroughly, and then it is said to be homogeneous. If the constant particle does not mix thoroughly, then it is said to be heterogeneous mixture. This is how we can easily classify the matter into 2 main branches. First one with the based upon the physical state, based upon the chemical composition. Remember, based upon the chemical composition, we classify the matter into pure substances as well as with a mixture. In a pure substances, again there are 2 types, elements and the compound, whereas in mixture, again this is 2 types, homogeneous mixture and a heterogeneous mixtures. At last, I like to say that what we have discussed today, it's so simple, we're just recalling the few things which already we have learned in your 10th standard. So that is all about the today's session, and in your next session, we are going to discuss with the properties of the matter and its measurement. Till that, take care and be safe at home. Thank you.